Hey guys, it's Justine here from I Should Read That, and today is the start of a weekly reading vlog. So it feels really weird doing the start of a vlog today, Monday, because I just finished my weekend vlog yesterday, so I feel like there's really nothing to talk about, but I guess there kind of is. I don't know. I haven't done much reading today. I did work today. I worked from home, as I have been for the past few weeks, and I don't know, what else did I do? I caught a tarantula in Animal Crossing. I didn't get slaughtered by it, which is nice. I watched some trashy TV with my sister via speakerphone, which was fun. Yeah, it's been a good evening, but it's not been a very reading heavy day. I do have some book updates though. I have, since yesterday, decided that I am actually going to DNF Docile. It is fascinating. I was really torn up about whether or not to continue reading this because I'm miserable reading it. It's a miserable read. It is not happy. It is not fun. There's not an ounce of joy in this book, which is maybe not the best thing to be reading right now in the middle of a global pandemic, but hey ho. So because I did decide to DNF Docile, I am focusing on these two books. It is the end of the month tomorrow on Tuesday, so I'm hoping to have these two done, which I think would bring me to 12 or 13 books read this month, which would be really awesome. So of course the first is The Light Brigade by Cameron Hurley, which I talked about a little bit in last week's vlog. This is my current audiobook read and I am listening to it while I'm working. I have about 4 hours left and I listened to this at about 1.5 times speed. I'm listening to it on Scribd as well, which is turning out to be a great option for me. I used to use it many years ago when it first sort of came into existence before I had all these crazy restrictions. And then when I moved away to the UK, I stopped using it because their selection in the UK was garbage. So I'm back on it and I'm really enjoying it. So this is the one that I'm currently listening to via Scribd, and I have The Queen of Crows by Mike Cole. This is the second book in the Sacred Throne trilogy of novellas, and I really loved the first one and I'm really enjoying this one. They have a very different feel in terms of pace, but it is still a very, very good and kind of faithful sequel to the first book. So I am really enjoying this, even though both of these books are super bleak, really bleak. I get some joy from them, so that's something at least. So I think after I finish these, I don't know what I'm going to pick up next, but because, as I say, they are a bit bleak, I'm probably going to go with something a little bit fluffier, maybe a YA fantasy or something like that instead. We'll see. I am currently uploading my O.W.L.s Readathon TBR and it looks like it's just finished. I wanted to post it tonight, but that's really dumb because I posted something late last night. So I'm gonna hold off, maybe put that up on Tuesday or Wednesday, but by the time this is up, it doesn't matter. You'll already be able to see it, so I'll link that on the screen. And then I think I'm gonna go crawl into bed and read something less miserable than Docile. Hey, so it is Wednesday. I've just gone on my lunch break. I actually had some pasta on my face before I started recording. And yeah, it's the 1st of April. I haven't seen too many horrible April Fool's jokes so far, which is good. I very much appreciate that from all of the brands and companies and just general humans out there. Because it's the 1st, I have wrapped up my March reading, and I did actually manage to finish these two books yesterday, like the last second. So The Light Brigade by Cameron Hurley, I listened to the audiobook, which I would highly recommend. It's really, really good. The narrator is excellent, and I loved this. It's super weird, but I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars probably. As I say, I like to settle on my ratings after some time has passed. And then I also finished Queen of Crows by Mike Cole. I liked this one. It's very different from the first one, but it also is like a really good sequel that pushes the story on. Basically, this has lots and lots and lots of battles and fighting, and while there is fighting and kind of like, you know, all these horrible things that happen, all this violence that happens in the first book. I feel like that first book focused more on O.W.L.s as a character, and this one still does that, but we get like a siege and we get fighting, and she's learning to fight and also dealing with the repercussions of her own kind of traumas around fighting and everything that's happened to her since the first book began. I thought it was really, really interesting, so I'm probably going to give this one 4 out of 5. In terms of what I'm gonna read next, I am going to be starting my O.W.L.s reading, and I am going to, I think, start the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I can't remember which one this is for. I think that this is for read a book outside of your comfort zone. Or outside your favorite genre, and I don't remember what prompt that was. I'll put it on the screen if I remember. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do 100 pages a day. So I've got my little kitty marking where 100 pages is, and I'm really excited for this. It's apparently, it's got like an author's note at the beginning that says that this is set in the same town as my best friend's exorcism. A few years after the events of that first book, and where that book, which I read last week, so this is great, unintentionally great timing, deals with the teenagers. This one deals with the parents, the mothers, the housewives. So I'm very, very excited for this. I think this is going to be super, super fun. I think it's going to be the perfect thing to read right now, and I really loved my best friend's exorcism, so this is going to be a really good one to carry on with. Other than that, I should probably pick a new audiobook because I like to have one going while I'm working. I don't know what that's going to be yet. But yeah, we'll see how it's going. Sophia's perched on my leg, just out of camera, of course. And Daxie is hanging out in the window. So I've got my cats with me. We're dealing with isolation well still. And yeah, it's just been a little bit of a kind of a calm day, which is good because I've had a lot of ups and downs lately, so we're good, we're happy. Daxie! What's this? What's this? New toys for Dax! Oh goodness, she absolutely destroyed her last one, so we had to get her a whole new one. Because she is Dax, bringer of chaos, destroyer of things she loves. Saturday. I meant to record Thursday and Friday, and that just didn't really happen. So I'm in bed right now. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but I've decided that I'm gonna have like a day to myself, just kind of reading and hanging out. So I've got my friend Sophia, I've got my other friend Dax. I don't know if you can actually see her. We've got her new toy, and she's been very, very happy. But yeah, no, I feel like this week has been so up and down in terms of like kind of mood and work and everything like that, that I just was gonna take a day to myself. So yeah, I've been hanging out. I played some Animal Crossing earlier today, and I am currently reading the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I'm 152 pages in. I've not been reading as much as I want to. I've been doing a lot of audiobooks instead, and I'll update you on what I've read for audiobooks. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying this. This is super fun, and I didn't even realize this is actually set in the same town, like in the same sort of universe as my best friend's exorcism. And there are a couple of little bits. So like Patricia, who is the main character in this book, lives adjacent to the Lang family, which of course Gretchen is the daughter of the Lang family. So there's like small things like that that I'm really enjoying. So I'm really happy I read my best friend's exorcism last week. But yeah, I was hoping to do 100 pages a day. I should be done with this book, I think, if I was doing that, and so clearly I have not been, but I'm going to get to 200 pages, and because I'm in bed with Sophia on my legs right now, I'm not going to go and grab my other books, but I did finish Made Things by Adrian Tchaikovsky, which is a novella. I'll show it to you later on in this vlog when I don't have a cat on me. I listened to the audiobook, which was on Scribd, and I enjoyed it. I don't love his fantasy as much as his sci-fi. I tend to just much prefer his science fiction books, but this I think is probably my favorite of his fantasy books that I've read. I don't want to say it's cute, because that makes it sound like it's like a fluffy thing. It's not, but there's something about it that's really cute and kind of like comforting, I guess. So we follow a main character who is an artisan. She's a puppet maker, and she discovers this sort of almost like a race of essentially sentient puppets who've been brought to life through the magic of this great sorcerer many decades, hundreds of years ago. And they've kind of struck up this deal where she will make bodies for them to be able to use their magic to multiply their population, and they will help her with sort of petty thievery. And she ends up getting roped into this heist. It was really fun. It was very sweet. It's not like the best thing I've ever read, but there's something about it that was sweet and that was cute, and I really enjoyed it. It's not necessarily something I expect from him, but I'm really glad that I got that. So I'll probably end up giving this 4 out of 5 stars. It was really fun, and he also narrates the audiobook and does a really good job. I don't always love it when authors narrate their own audiobooks, but he was really good. So I enjoyed that, and I also finished, I can't remember the author's name off the top of my head, but another Scribd audiobook, which was A Dead Djinn in Cairo, which is, I think it's a short story. It's like an hour and 45 minutes long. It's 46 pages long, and it's set in sort of an alternate 1912 Cairo, and we follow a female police officer investigating the death of a djinn in the city. And it was really good, really fantastic. I just kind of picked it up on a whim because I think the next novella that's sort of related is called The Haunting of Tramcar 15, something like that. And that's going to be my next audiobook. But I think that was nominated for a Hugo, maybe? It sounded really familiar and it looked really familiar. And I saw that it was the second book set in this world. So I listened to the first one and it's fantastic. It's really good. And because it's 46 pages long, that means I have officially finished my first O.W.L.s prompt, which was to read a book under 150 pages. Yay, go me, I'm so pleased. So yeah, I think now I'm going to haul the cats off of me, get out of my PJs, and go for a walk, because I have been trying to make sure I go outside and get some exercise, but I have not been doing that, which probably contributes a lot to my moodiness. Typical. So I'm going to go do that now. Scottish husband is currently on a run, a much longer run, and we're going to see if we can like cross paths and I can like cheer him on and embarrass him or something like that. So I'm going to go do that. I am going to queue up The Haunting of Tram 15 and just enjoy the sunshine because it's actually sunny. Of course, we get a global pandemic as soon as the winter is over. It's super annoying. Sunday night and it is time to wrap up this vlog. I had a really successful reading week. It was a much calmer week, I think, than it has been for the past couple of weeks. I've had a lot of kind of ups and downs, but it's overall been good. It's been calm and it's been quiet, which is excellent. So I ended up reading 4 things this week, and I feel like I read a lot of them kind of in between updates on the days that like I didn't film an update, so I feel like I haven't really like shown any of these off, but whatever. So the first one that I finished was Cameron Hurley's The Light Brigade. I really enjoyed this one. It's military sci-fi, and I am probably going to settle on a 4.5-star rating. It's fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to picking up more of her books because I am officially a fan. I also finished The Queen of Crows by Mike Cole. I really enjoyed this novella. It's quite a long novella. It's like nearly 250 pages, which is quite intense. But I really enjoyed this one regardless. I am definitely going to be picking up The Killing Light very soon. I have it sitting on my nightstand right now. It's another long novella, and I will probably settle on 4 out of 5 stars for this one. I'm very, very curious to see how the series is going to end. I don't think it'll be very happily. I also read Made Things by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I listened to this as an audiobook on Scribd, and I really enjoyed this. I don't love his fantasy as much as his sci-fi, which I think I've already mentioned, but it was a really fun story, weirdly sweet and weirdly endearing, which is not something I really expect from him, but regardless, I really liked this one. If you're looking for something that is light and a good quick read, I would definitely recommend this. I am probably going to settle on 4 out of 5 stars for this one. And I read the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix, and I loved this book. I think in my last update I was maybe like 150 pages in, and I basically finished this book that... Hi Dax. I basically finished this book that day. I like got completely sucked into this book once kind of things started going and sort of the wheels started turning, and I feel like that's very much sort of indicative of his horror writing. It sort of starts out a little bit mundane, life is very normal, and then the supernatural starts to creep in. This was so fun. It's 90s middle-class housewives who are obsessed with true crime who basically take on the vampire next door. It's so fun. I like enjoyed the hell out of this book. I have one more of his books on my shelves. I think it's We Sold Our Soul, and I really want to pick up Horror Store as well. So I'm officially a big fan of his. I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I think this will be out by the time this vlog goes up. If I post this early, it'll be right around the time that it comes out, because this comes out on the 7th of April. And I've just realized that I finished another book. I finished 5 books this week. This one was very short. It was about an hour and 45 minutes on audio. I listened to it on Scribd, as per usual. This is A Dead Gin in Cairo. I can't remember the name of the author. I have Dax in my lap, which means I can't move, and my phone is somewhere, but I will put the cover on the screen here so you can go ahead and check it out. I loved this. This was amazing. It's got a lot of the kind of the flavors of the atmosphere of City of Brass, but it's a completely different story. It's set in a completely different time. It's nothing like City of Brass, but if you like that kind of atmosphere and you really enjoy sort of that feeling that you get while reading that book, reading the descriptions of the cities in that book, I think you should definitely check this out. It was so, so, so good. I'm gonna give it 4.5 or 5 stars. I loved it. And this week I am working on The Haunting of Tramcar O.W.L.s, which is the next book in this series, much longer, but still a novella, and I'm hoping to finish that this week, which I think I will. I'm so pumped to read it. I absolutely adore this author's writing style and the characters and everything, and I'm going to dig up whatever he has written because it's really, really, really good. And I don't think I had ever heard of him before. I don't think I've seen anyone reading his books, so this is a very, very exciting moment for me. In addition to The Haunting of Tramcar O.W.L.s, I have 2 books on my agenda for next week, one of which is massive. This is Wanderers by Chuck Wendig. I'm finally going to read this book. I was so excited for it when it came out last year, and I never got around to it because although I love big books, it is quite a big chunky book. It's not the easiest to carry around on your commute, but I'm not commuting right now. I'm stuck in the flat, not going anywhere. So this is the perfect time to read it, even though it is a pandemic book. I have started it. I was trying to read it in the bath. That wasn't happening. It's so big. And I finished the first 2 chapters and I'm completely loving it so far. I really like the style. I'm very intrigued by what's going on here. So hopefully I will be able to finish this week. And for a physically much lighter read, and I also imagine just kind of a generally lighter read because this is YA, I am planning on reading Incendiary by Zoraida Cordova. This book is set in a Spanish Inquisition inspired world, and it's basically, I think it's the royalty of this world have conquered and they're hunting down magic users. And our main character is someone who can steal memories, which is really, really cool. I'm very intrigued by this. I started Labyrinth Lost at some point and I wasn't digging it, but I am 24 pages into this book. I've obviously not been doing a ton of reading today, but I'm very curious about this. I'm super interested to see how this is gonna go. So this is going to be my other planned read for next week. So all of this together means that I have actually completed 2 of my owls. I have 5 more to go. Let me see if I can remember this, because again, I don't have my phone with me. I finished Arithmancy, which is read a book outside of your preferred genre, which was the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, and Potions, which was to read a book under 150 pages, and that was A Dead Djinn in Cairo. So I'm doing great right now. I don't know what these 2 will fit, what prompts they'll fit. We'll find out. I'll figure it out. They may not even count for the owls. I don't know. We're living life on the wild side or something here. So that is it for this week's reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it, even though it was maybe a little bit more low-key than usual, although all my vlogs are incredibly low-key. So I would love to know what you've been up to this week, how you're feeling, how you're doing in isolation. If you're a key worker, if you are, you know, still out and about, let me know. I'd love to chat. I feel like vlogs are a great way to kind of feel like you're still connected with people, even though the only person I have seen in about 2.5 weeks is my husband and my cats. I post bookish content to this channel fairly frequently, so go ahead and hit subscribe, check back soon, and I will see you next time.